Hi, everyone, and welcome to today's Healing Circle, which is on resolving conflicts in relationships. When I was looking at the word, I said, maybe I shouldn't have used the word resolve and I should have done healing conflicts in relationships. But, anyways, it is. I guess it is one and the same thing. Conflicts in relationships, right? It's always, you know, very, I would say, very, very intense. That shows up, and I'm sure there is no one here who can actually say that I don't have conflicts in relationships. Having said that, let us begin today's session. When you think about conflicts in relationships, but before that, I just wanted to do a recording disclaimer. So, this session is being recorded and may be used for educational or promotional purposes on YouTube and social media platforms. By choosing to stay in the session, you acknowledge and give your consent to be included in the recording. If you are not comfortable being visible or identifiable, you are welcome to keep your camera off and change your display name as needed. Your healing and privacy are fully respected. Okay, so coming to this thing of conflict in relationships, what I want to do is I want to go like super specific and super deep with this session. Okay, so we're not going to go all over the place. We're going to work with one thing. And so, what I want you to do is, I want you to think of one person with whom you have a conflict in relationship. Now, you may say, I don't have any conflict in relationship right now. And that's okay. If any person pops in your mind, even if it's something in the past, and even if you think that it is resolved, it may or may not be resolved just because that person has popped in your mind. Okay. So, what I want you to do is, I want you to take a piece of paper and like draw a circle in the center and write down the name of that person in the center of the circle. Like we do a lot of pen and paper work when we work together. So draw a circle, write down the name of that person, when you think about conflict in relationships. Okay. Now, as I'm using these words, conflict in relationships, what I would also recommend to you is that you can also if you have anything coming up, around this circle, you can write down, even though it may or may not be connected to that person specifically, but you can still go ahead and write down, whatever is coming up as I'm using these words. But like I said, we are actually going to go really deep with this one thing. So, but you are welcome to brain dump on this paper just because we are using conflicts in relationships. So you may have a lot of things pop up, and that's okay. Just put it on this paper. We will overall include it, but specifically, we are going to work with one specific thing. Now, I actually, put out this message on Facebook. I also, messaged the Facebook Messenger chat and WhatsApp group. And I'm actually going to read this again. And my whole motivation or inspiration, you could say, for doing this session came from this particular reel. So, like a couple of weeks back, I was watching this reel by Teal Swan, Tealswan. And, I heard her speak and I was, oh my God, it just like was so bang on, and I said, we've never really looked at conflicts from this perspective. So that was the moment I said, I should do a tat session or a healing circle using what she is talking about. Okay. And I'm going to read out what she says. She says, children will always set you up to feel how they feel. So if a little kid is throwing a fit, how does that make you feel? How does that make you feel? If a small child is throwing a fit, how does that make you feel? Let me know in the chat. And I know I've sent it out, but still, I'd like to hear your responses. So when a small kid or a toddler or someone is throwing a fit or throwing a tantrum, how does that make you feel? Anybody, just write it down. Or if somebody wants anxious, it makes you feel anxious. Okay. So what else? Helpless, controlled. Okay, good. So scared. All right. Okay. Now, can you consider the fact that they feel what you feel? So if you feel anxious when your grandson or your baby throws a tantrum, then maybe that kid or that baby is also feeling anxious. Yes. Or if you feel helpless, then that baby is also feeling helpless. Or if you feel fearful or scared, then that kid is also feeling fearful or scared. So remember what you said. Children will always set you up to feel how they feel. Okay. Now, this is a hallmark truth of the human emotional system. In relationships, the faster you learn this, the better you'll get at relationships. And we don't grow out of it. So people will always set you up to feel the exact same way they feel. Now, how does this apply to conflicts in relationships? Now, they will set you up to feel how you made them feel. Okay. So they will make you feel how you made them feel, whether it's conscious or subconscious. It's not conscious on the part of that person that they're making you feel the same way that they feel that you made them feel. Okay. Now, are you guys getting what I'm saying? Um, and it doesn't matter if they're doing it intentionally, it doesn't matter if they're doing it unintentionally while they're doing it. Okay, so for example, you could actually walk into a room wearing a gorgeous outfit and somebody could feel jealous. Okay, so you made them feel jealous. Now, what will they do? They will do something to make you feel jealous. Does that give you an aha moment? Like when I looked at it, it just was like, oh my God, this is so true. How many of you like got this aha moment when you read this or you heard this? Okay. So we are going to do today's session based on this principle. So people set you up to feel how they feel. Okay. So now, conflict in relationship. Remember that one person I told you to write about? Okay. Now you can, around that, you can write down one incident which has some emotional charge for you. Or it could be like a series of incidents, like maybe you went for a visit to your brother's place or your sister's place. And, there was this whole drama which occurred while you were there, or they visited you and this whole drama occurred while they were at your place. So it's like a situation. So it may have a lot of small things. So you can take up that big situation, or you can take up one specific incident that occurred within that situation. Okay. So everyone has your situation right now? Yes? Okay, good. So once you have the situation, now what I want you to do is I want you to just pause and take a moment and check in. What are you feeling internally about that situation, about that incident, or about that person? Okay. Now, make sure that you name the emotion that you are experiencing. For example, frustration or anger or anxious or, powerless, helpless, uh, feeling caged, whatever it is, make sure that you write down that emotion. Okay? Right, like make sure that you label that emotion. Okay? So, everyone, have you labeled your emotions? And you can feel free to write it in the messenger chat, in the chat if you want to, or write it on your own piece of paper. So, think of that person, think of that situation or that incident, and how does that make you feel? Okay. It could be how does it make you feel now, or how did it make you feel then? But it's better to kind of write down how does it make you feel now. Okay, everyone got it so far? All right. Now, once you've done this, now you look at the physical sensations in your body. So you might have things like tension, or like I normally feel like a sick sensation in my solar plexus, or a racing heart, or it could be knots in the stomach, or it could be like some kind of pain or intensity somewhere in the body. Whatever it is, it's very unique to you. So write it down. Okay. Now, ask yourself these questions. What am I really feeling right now? What am I really feeling right now? So just go with me. We are doing like the journaling part of it, and then we are going to do that. And the most important thing that you're going to look over here is what am I feeling right now? And then I'm kind of using all the other stuff just to bring up more stuff that we can work on. Then the next one is what triggered this emotional response? What triggered this emotional response? So you will find in every situation there is a trigger, right? So what was it exactly that triggered that response? And then what underlying need isn't being met? What underlying need isn't being met? What am I feeling right now? What triggered this emotional response? Now, when you have a conflict in the relationship, I'm sure all of us can find out, when we look at it in hindsight, we know what triggered that emotional response. What triggered that emotional, if you want to go even deeper, you can write down what triggered that emotional response for you, and also what triggered that emotional response for the other person. And then what underlying need isn't being met. Okay. All right. So now anybody wants to share, if you feel comfortable talking about what is the conflict, and then, what are the things that you became aware of? Anyone would like to share? Yes, Penny, go ahead, please.
Me, it's with my youngest daughter.
Okay.
Um, she's been lying to me for the last 2 years,
Mm-hmm.
and then she ran away 6 weeks ago.
Uh-huh. And how does that make you feel?
Betrayed.
Okay.
Um, I don't trust her anymore.
Uh-huh.
The
So,
school called and gaslit me yesterday. I called the cops, and that's why I've been like, I felt immediately sick. I couldn't sleep last night. I woke up this morning and I could still feel that like a cattle prod anxiety.
okay. So I think for you, the situation is when the school called and gaslit you. That's the situation, yes?
Well, Geraldine's lies.
Um, okay. So Caroline's lies. So what are you feeling about that?
It didn't even have to be the, I feel distrust and betrayal.
Okay, you feel distrust and betrayed. And what triggered this emotional response?
Her lying.
Okay. And what underlying need isn't being met?
I'm being rejected as a result of other people's choices.
So what is your underlying need? What is your need? What do you need? You want to be accepted? You want to be loved? What is your need? Need to be included?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay, need to be included. So that's your underlying need. Okay. So now let's reverse it. So you are feeling betrayed and you are feeling distrust. Okay. So using what I spoke about before, then what is she feeling? What is Caroline feeling?
Geraldine,
Sorry?
I don't even know how the fuck I betrayed her.
It doesn't matter.
She's been,
It doesn't matter. See, you're trying to understand why she's feeling. And, the why really will not take you anywhere. You just need to know what she is feeling. Okay. So if you are feeling betrayed and distrust, then she is also feeling betrayed and distrust. So if we kind of reverse engineer the whole thing, you first made her feel betrayed and distrust, and now she is making you feel betrayed and distrust. Make sense?
hmm
So did that kind of open up something for you? It doesn't matter. It's just like a kind of
I'm
awareness.
super confused by all of it.
You're super confused by all of it.
Yeah, like I didn't sexually assault her, but I did make the choice to allow her.
Look, Penny, where you are going is, going into guilt and stuff like that. So don't really go into guilt. What we are doing here is we just need to kind of we
Mhm.
are just identifying that if I'm feeling betrayed and distrust, it means that she is feeling betrayed and distrust, and she thinks I'm making her feel betrayed and distrust. That's it. That's all you need to know. And apart
Okay,
from that, nothing else. Okay. Anybody else wants to kind of share what's going on for you?
I'll share.
Yeah, go ahead, Shifra.
So, do I have to say who it is?
It doesn't matter. Just say, what are you feeling about that
Well,
person?
I was feeling pissed, embarrassed, angry, controlled. Can you
Okay,
ask the questions again? Because I didn't write the questions down, just the answers.
okay. So no, now let me ask you, what are you feeling? So think about that person or that situation or that incident, and what are you feeling about it? Right now, while talking to me, tell me what are you feeling?
Well, the most thing is embarrassed.
You're feeling embarrassed. So, reversing this according to that whole principle, It's like you made them feel embarrassed. Yes?
Possibly, yes. I
Yes.
didn't think of it that way.
Yes. And now they've set you up to feel what they are feeling.
Ooh, I
And
had chills on that. Woo.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, good, good. So everyone is with me on this. And if you're not, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. But I will read this again once. People set you up to feel, people will always set you up to feel the exact same way that they feel. So how does this apply to conflicts in relationship? They will set you up to feel how you made them feel, whether it's conscious or unconscious. Okay? And if you want to resolve a conflict, all you've got to do is figure out how you feel and then realize that that's how you're making them feel, and then make your solution based off of that. So we're not going to make a solution, but we are going to use a TAT, and we are going to clear the stuff that you are feeling. We're going to clear the stuff that they are feeling, and then let's see what actually shows up. Are you excited? Like, I'm really excited to try this out, okay? So let's now begin with our TAT. So first of all, we let me demonstrate the TAT pose to you. So the ring finger and your thumb are going to be like this. The middle finger goes to the middle of your forehead, and the other hand goes to the nape of your head like this, okay? This is the TAT pose. You can hold it in this particular pose. You can also just keep your hand like this. You can touch your body. You can keep it away from the body. The other thing you can do is you can hold your hands like this and imagine your head in the center. Now, for today, what I want you to do is I want you to imagine yourself, and you're holding the pose. I also want you to imagine the other person. And if it's a group of people, imagine all the people and include them while you are doing the pose. So imagine that you're holding your hands for each of these people. And it's not like a how, it's just an intention that I'm doing the tat for each one of these people. Okay? If you have any questions, feel free to stop me, and I will help you out. So first of all, what we are going to do is
Can we put more than one person in the circle or just leave the one person in our circle?
in that particular situation, if it's a group of people, you can include them. Okay?
Okay, thanks.
Okay. And you can, repeat this process with a different situation, a different person uh, later. For today, let's just include this one particular situation or incident and all the people who were involved in that incident. Okay. Now, if it's just a person with whom you generally have conflicts, then include that person. It doesn't need to be a situation or an incident, but you might also find other people to include, who are part of that. So other people may not be included, may not be involved in that conflict, but just the fact that they are there. So for example, if you live with your brother or your sister and you keep having conflicts with your brother and your sister, but you're also living with your brother's wife, and then your other sister and all of that, just include all of them, because what happens is that these patterns of conflicts are actually stored in the memories of each one of these people. So even though you may resolve that pattern within yourself, it will keep recurring just because it exists in the energy fields of all these people. So include all the people who are around you, okay, in today's session. All right. So first, what we are going to do is we are going to look at the stopper thoughts. And these stopper thoughts are these thoughts of disbelief that something like that could help you with this situation. Because a lot of times these conflicts in relationships, and especially if it's been going on for a really long time, or even if it is small, it just feels so unimaginable that it can be resolved so easily. So that's why we are doing these stopper thoughts. So put your hands in the tat pose and just listen to me. This will never work for me. This protocol is too easy to be of any value. It might work for other people, but not for me. This issue is too big for this protocol to help. Nothing can change this. Nothing else has worked for this, and this protocol won't either. Switch your hands. So the hands which was at the back comes to the front and vice versa. And here we are going to do the intention of the session. This healing is on behalf of me, my family, my ancestors, all parts of me, my conscious and subconscious mind, all points of view I've ever held, every manifestation of my being in all times and all dimensions, all beings involved, and all beings who would like to benefit from this healing. This healing will happen safely and easily. Switch your hands. This protocol is easy and could work and be of great value. I now choose to accept life, love, help, and healing. And relax. Okay. Now, what I want you to do is I want you all to look at, think about that person or those people with whom you have the conflict, and how do you feel? Okay. So, like for example, Shifra is feeling embarrassed, and somebody else is feeling helpless or powerless or scared or controlled, whatever it is that you're feeling. Okay. So, when I say this, it means whatever you are feeling. Okay. So put your hands in the pose. Everything that led up to my identifying, resonating, and connecting with feeling embarrassed, sad, controlled, helpless, powerless, angry, irritated, and anything else that you're feeling happened. And switch your hands. All this feeling happened. It's over. I'm okay. I can relax now. And I no longer identify, resonate, and connect with this feeling or these feelings. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to now change the words a little bit, and I will say everything that led up to them. And by them, I mean this one person or this group of people. Okay. And with the same feeling. So when I use the word feeling, just think about your own feeling there. Okay. So put your hands in the pose. Everything that led up to them, identifying, resonating, and connecting with feeling happened. And switch your hands. This happened. It's over. They're okay. They can relax now. And they no longer identify, resonate, and connect with this feeling. And relax. Okay, so how is your feeling now? Anybody wants to share?
I have compassion right now.
So your feeling of embarrassment went away.
Yeah, because I didn't realize that I made them feel embarrassed, and then they made me feel embarrassed.
So it just went
I
away.
didn't make. And so it's just now compassion for both of us.
Fantastic. Okay. Anybody else wants to share what happened to your feeling? And it may not just go away with this one step, and we may need to do like go through the entire process. But what I'm looking for is just a tiny little shift that occurred, in your feeling. Anybody wants to share? You can also
I
tap.
think for my feelings,
Mm-hmm. Go
yeah,
ahead.
I think it stems from disrespect for another.
Mm-hmm.
So all these feelings all stem from disrespecting the other, and that comes from not having respect for self.
Uh-huh. So what are
So
you feeling?
that's where,
What are you feeling?
yeah, my feeling after the thing is I'm being aware of the disrespect.
Okay. Okay, cool. All right. So now let's go to
That
through.
is like the underlying cause for all that trauma and drama.
Okay.
It starts, in my view.
Yeah, so uh it's like you feel disrespected, and then did you get the awareness that they feel disrespected?
I got the sense that I feel disrespected
O-
because it's not just from this one situation. It is over decades. Yeah.
Okay, okay. So it's a long thing. Okay, cool,
Yeah.
cool. Just that awareness, that is the so what need isn't being met?
Me being respected, taken seriously,
Okay, so
valued.
yeah, so let's put your hands in the pose. Everything that led up to my identifying, resonating, and connecting with my need to be valued not being met. Switch your hands. My need to be valued is not met. All this happened. It's over. I'm okay. I can relax now, and I no longer identify, resonate, and connect with this. Need to be valued not being met. So because we are looking at, what I feel is how they feel, and so they are making me feel that, let's turn it around and put your hands in the pose. Everything that led up to them identifying, resonating, and connecting with their need to be valued not being met. Switch your hands. Their need to be valued is not being met. It's over. They're okay. They can relax now. And they no longer identify, resonate, and connect with their need to be valued is not being met. And relax. How does that make you feel now? Any change?
Lighter. So based on that example you gave earlier, so
Mhm.
does this mean that what they are feeling is what they're projecting at the other and
No,
making them feel that?
no, it's like
And then in
you,
return, you're doing it to them?
like, because we are not looking at them, we are looking at us, right? So how
Hmm.
do I
Hmm.
feel? So how do I
Hmm.
feel? So I feel betrayed. Okay. I feel betrayed. So that means that I'm making them feel betrayed. So they are making me feel betrayed. So we start from us. Okay.
Hmm.
So that's why we do the tat saying everything that led up to my identifying, resonating, and connecting with feeling betrayed. And then the second step. And then in the next version of it, we do everything that led up to them identifying, resonating, and connecting with feeling betrayed happened. So, like, it's not a very conscious thing, it's a subconscious thing. But we're just exploring, playing with this, you know,
Hmm.
and seeing if something shifts for us.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like you don't have to believe it, you don't have to believe it, because the tat,
Hmm.
the wonder of tat works in, you know, saying one statement and then saying the opposite. So we are also kind of including them and saying the opposite for them, just using this particular thread that Teal Swan said, which I kind of connected with. So let's play around with it
Hmm.
and see if something shifts, with these really long-term, deep conflicts, like in your case, which you said have been going on for 4 decades, right? So let's just,
Can I say something?
yeah, sure, go ahead.
Uh, it's very interesting. I felt always like family disrespect me, not include me, and now I saw actually it's from my side too, and it made things easier. Like the conflict is loosening up.
Hmm. Because suddenly,
This is what
you
I
have
felt.
this aha moment of like, oh, I make them feel disrespected.
Yes,
And then, it's like, oh, I said that and that made them feel disrespected. Now, here's the beauty of it. Because when you said that, you did not mean to disrespect them, but
yes,
they experienced it as disrespect.
mhm,
You see,
yes,
like last time, I read this quote, and I think I should read this over and over again so that everyone gets it. Everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. And everything
mhm,
we see is a perspective, not the truth. So, you may say something, but how it lands for the other person, how they feel about what you say is exactly what they will make you feel, right?
yes.
So this all just starts loosening up all that, you know,
Yeah,
and
very interesting.
and and
Very interesting
and if
concept.
something is really intense for you, like some conflict which is like really big and been going on for some time, and I don't mean long time, it could be just like, but something big which has happened just recently, you won't even be able to see that, unless you kind of work on this over a period of time, maybe do 2, 3, 4 sessions,
Yes.
same thing. Yeah. Okay, fantastic. So let's go ahead with the next. And of course, you can stop me anytime and we can go back. Okay. So now put your hands in the pose. All the places in my mind, body, and life where this has been stored are healing now. Switch your hands. All the origins of this are healing now. Switch your hands. All the communications and connections related to this are completing now. And relax. So again, when we are holding the tat pose, and for each step or each statement that I say, typically you can hold it for between 30 seconds to 1 minute, or, till you feel like there is some kind of energetic discharge which occurs, which could be like a rumbling in your stomach, or more often than not, it's a sigh or a yawn, or, in my case, sometimes my eyes start watering, or, any of that. Okay. Just to know. And if you don't feel anything, just hold it for 30 seconds to 1 minute. Okay. Or, in some cases, you will just feel like it's done and then it's done. Okay. Now, the next step is the forgiveness step.
Nilofer,
Yeah.
before we go to the forgiveness, an interesting thing came up while we were doing the thing. It's like I almost want to hold on to this,
Okay.
because then then you go back into that, okay, everything is forgotten and forgiven. It's like, no, to be blatantly honest, I feel like this person needs to be in pain for causing me pain.
Let me ask you a question. Is that person in pain?
No, not at all.
Exactly.
Not in the least bit. No. That's
They're
a
not
good
in
question.
pain, you know, you
But
know,
that's interesting, is I'm getting this, false sense of power that I'm causing that person pain. In fact, I'm sitting in pain and tormenting myself.
exactly. And I saw another reel recently which I had to laugh about. And she said, what is the best revenge? What is the best
Mm,
revenge against another person? Guess
yeah,
what
yeah.
it is? Forgiveness. Because when you forgive that person, they no longer have any power over you. You, you
So
know,
difficult.
so no. Let's put this in perspective. So I've shared this story before, and I'll say this again. So years ago, I used to make stuffed toys, and I had all these women whom I had employed. And there was this one lady, who stole all my designs, and she started another thing, and she started making those same toys, right? I didn't even know about this. Now, one day I walk into a shop and I look at this teddy bear, and it looks exactly like the ones that I would make in my little, manufacturing unit. But the material and everything was very different. The softness of it was very different from the one I made. And so I was like, it just felt, so unreal to me. So I went to the shopkeeper and I said, where do you get these from? Do you get it from Hyderabad? Because Hyderabad was the place where I was, I had my unit. And he said, yeah, there's this lady who supplies it to us. And I said, do you mind telling me what is her name? So he told me her name. And I said, oh my God, that moment, it's like, you know, I just went into this shock, that, she had come to me and she had stolen. And the gall of her, like she was still working with me. So it's like, all my new designs and everything, she was taking it away. And it hit me so badly. I mean, I felt so betrayed and so, I can't tell you, I felt sick. I felt sick. I was on bed for 2 weeks. I couldn't get up. And, I had started my whole journey at that point of time. And I was like, oh my God, this is because of all this anger. And I really wanted to like squeeze her neck and kill her. That was the kind of anger I had. And then I went through anger and betrayal and sadness. And why did this happen to me? And I went through the whole gamut of things. And at that point of time, I used to do, pranic healing, and they have this meditation on twin hearts, and in that there is a big segment on forgiving people. So when I got out of bed, I said, no, this is not correct. I need to be able to let go of this woman. And so I started doing that forgiveness thing every single day, that meditation on twin hearts every day. And I actually wanted to come to a point at which I could think about that lady and have no reaction at all. And I did it. I think I did it for 2 3 months. And then she stopped coming. Of course, I told her not to come anymore. I made up some excuse or something. And then, one day she called me up to talk to me about something. And I could just talk to her, normally. I did not have an emotional reaction. I didn't have anything, nothing. It was just neutral. It was just like any other person that I was talking to. So, forgiving that person, you are not forgiving for them, you are forgiving for you. And right now, it may not work. So when you are doing the forgiveness step, you might hold your hands in the pose, and I may be saying forgiveness, and in your mind you could be going, I don't think I can forgive her. But you could say, but but it may be possible that I could forgive her. you know just use that word maybe. you know so when
Yeah,
you start
yeah.
using that word maybe for a few days, you might come to a point at which it goes, okay, I will.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So let's do the forgiveness.
thanks.
Put
Hmm.
your hands in the pose. I forgive everyone who hurt me related to this and wish them love, happiness, and peace. Switch your hands. I apologize to everyone I hurt related to this and wish them love, happiness, and peace. Switch your hands. I forgive everyone I blamed for this, including God and myself. And relax. How did that feel?
Yeah, adding the maybe kind of helped.
Yeah,
That there's
maybe,
a
maybe
possibility,
help.
but I don't have to do it in the moment because I'm not
Exactly.
ready.
Exactly. That maybe really helps, because the maybe could be at some point. Right now, I don't see the possibility, but maybe it could. So you're not like having that resistance to forgiving, but rather you're going that maybe, it could help in some way. Okay, fantastic. Uh, and anybody, if you have anything really coming up strongly and you want to talk, just unmute yourself, okay? So put your hands in the pose. All the parts of me that have been involved in this are healing now. Switch your hands. Whatever is left about this is healing now. And relax. Okay. Does anybody have anything unresolved still at this point?
I just want to say something.
Sure.
It actually loosened up the need to be right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Ditto,
It's,
ditto, ditto, ditto.
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, it's what Gary said. Either you are right or you are free.
Yep. 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 Exactly. Like, need to be right is a major thing that most people are holding on to in a relationship.
Yes.
You know, the other thing is that each one of us are trying to prove that we are a bigger victim. You know,
Yes.
so we are saying, you did this to me. And they are saying, you did this to me. We both are saying, and each one of us wants to be the bigger victim.
True.
Yeah. We want to
And to be
prove.
more right.
So that's another interesting dynamic that's going on, you know. So I've kind of played with doing this process using these other two approaches, like the bigger victim kind of thing, but I find that they make you feel how you are making them feel is loosening up things much faster than anything else. Yes, Anita, go ahead.
Thank you, Nilofer, for all the wonderful sessions. The query I had is forgiving myself.
Mm-hmm.
I find that the biggest thing which popped up for me was like, I'm not able to forgive myself.
So,
And I'm working against myself is the energy that came up.
okay.
Not
So,
now, some time back. Yeah.
okay. So you're not able to forgive yourself because,
Yeah. I don't deserve it. I'm guilty,
okay. And how does that make you feel?
miserable.
Okay. So put your hands in the pose. Everything that led up to my identifying, resonating, and connecting with feeling miserable happened. Switch your hands. Feeling miserable happened. It's over. I'm okay. I can relax now. And I no longer identify, resonate, and connect with feeling miserable. And relax.
It was a 8, it came to 6.
Okay, now what are you feeling?
Judging myself,
No,
being righteous,
no, how does that make you feel?
guilty.
Okay, guilty. So put your hands in the pose. Everything that led up to my identifying, resonating, and connecting with feeling guilty happened. Switch your hands. Feeling guilty happened. It's over. I'm okay. I can relax now, and I no longer identify, resonate, and connect with feeling guilty. And relax. Okay, what are you feeling now?
Now
Sorry?
it's a 4. Number is 4.
No, I didn't ask you the
Okay.
number. What are you feeling? You have to tell me what you're feeling.
Irritable is coming up. I mean, irritated.
Okay. So put your hands in the pose. Everything that led up to my identifying, resonating, and connecting with feeling irritated happened. Switch your hands. Feeling irritated happened. It's over. I'm okay. I can relax now. And I no longer identify, resonate, and connect with feeling irritated. And relax. Now, what are you feeling?
I'm feeling stuck,
Okay, and
not willing to let it go.
where do you feel stuck in your body?
Stomach.
Okay.
And the head. Yeah.
Okay. Everything that led up to my identifying, resonating, and connecting with feeling stuck in my stomach and head happened. Switch your hands. Feeling stuck in my stomach and head happened. It's over. I'm okay. I can relax now, and I no longer identify, resonate, and connect with feeling stuck. And relax. So if you were not stuck, what would you be?
I'll be flowing
Okay. And you don't want to flow because
because
you,
I would lose others.
so who are you afraid of losing?
Oh, my family, friends.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. So that's another session for you there, Anita. Okay, anybody else? Pepper, did you want to speak?
Thank you so much.
Yes, it's very interesting
Thank you
what
so
this
much.
is
Thank you
bringing
so
up
much.
for me. It's bringing up the divorce from my husband, and I just felt so like a piece of dirt on the floor, and had no ability to take this other woman's energy out of the picture. At the end, I chose to step away from the marriage, even though I still loved this man, because it was just too painful.
Okay, so how does it
I
make you feel? Hold on. How does it make you feel right now?
I didn't stand up for myself.
No.
That's
How does
what's
it make you feel?
like nothing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so put your hands in the pose. Everything that led up to my identifying, resonating, and connecting with feeling nothing happened. Feeling like nothing happened. Switch your hands. Feeling like nothing happened. It's over. I'm okay. I can relax now. And I no longer identify, resonate, and connect with feeling like nothing. And relax. So, people make you feel how you make them feel. So, could it be possible that you made your ex-husband feel like nothing?
Wow. I would really have to think about that.
You just started having emotions. So, wasn't that like a moment of, ah, really, maybe?
Well, yeah, because I
Because
just
you caught him cheating, right? And you
apparently
divorced
so.
him. Yeah, you divorced him because he cheated. So I'm sure like he didn't feel like a piece of dirt under your foot.
Wow.
Okay, so put your hands in the pose. Everything that led up to them identifying, resonating, and connecting with feeling like nothing happened. Switch your hands. Them feeling like nothing happened, it's over, they're okay, they can relax now, and they no longer identify, resonate, and connect with feeling like nothing. And relax. How does that feel, Pepper?
Well, I guess it's loosening up that whole thing that I didn't want to take a look at from back then. And obviously, it's still there to some degree.
Mhm.
So I guess taking a different viewpoint
Exactly.
might have validity.
Yeah. So now how do you feel about that whole divorce and that situation?
Oh, I'm so pleased it happened because I wouldn't have my life now at all.
No, 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 no,
And
no. Right this moment, how do you feel about your divorce and everything?
I'm glad it happened.
Okay, good. So they also are glad that it happened. So you both are free. That's
So
the
let it go. I guess I
revenge.
just needed to cry for a minute.
Okay, good. So now we come to the choice step. So I want you guys to write down a choice statement for you. So you can write down things like, I choose to be free. I choose to have ease and flow. I choose uh, I choose to have no judgment about this person. Whatever it is, write down a choice step and put it in the Zoom chat. And all the choice steps, I shall read it. I choose to be free and flow. Okay, good. Please feel free to write down your choice steps. Okay, good. Give me a few. No, no, no. You have to write it in the form of I choose, or what would it take for me to have this kind of thing. Don't make me work. Come on. You guys need to put in some input. And those are the choice statements that I will read, okay?
Yeah, I put in mine.
Yeah, yeah, thanks. Okay. So put your hands in the pose and we are going to go through the choice step, okay? I choose to be free and flow. I choose to be in complete allowance with ease for myself and every single energy on this earth. I choose to be free, uh, having no judgments, taking responsibilities. I choose to let go of all my past experiences. I choose to be powerful. I choose to be joyful. And I have a good one. Hold on. I'm complete and whole and radiate love. This radiance attracts a multitude of other loving humans into my life. I celebrate the depth of my many and wondrous relationships. Deep within me is a never-ending well of peace and tranquility. The soothing stillness of my soul permeates the cells of my body. I'm wise beyond my years and see the blessings in everything. The life puzzles I solve are the catalysts for planetary change. My very existence is sacred and blessed. I choose to acknowledge my potency of possibility and power. And relax. if you find good affirmations or good questions, it's a great idea to hold your hands in the pose and say them out aloud, because that also makes them super powerful. Okay, so now let us do the integration step. So switch your hands. This healing is completely integrated now with my grateful thanks. Switch your hands. This healing is completely integrated now with my grateful thanks. And now put your hands over your ears like this, like you're just, your fingers are touching your ears. This healing is completely integrated now with my grateful thanks. Yeah. So anybody wants to share how you are feeling after the session? How did you come in, and how do you feel at the end of the session? Anyone likes to share? Just feel free. Fantastic. Okay, good. Are you feeling more relaxed in your body? Is your mind calmer? Are you feeling lighter, less heavy? That also does the trick. So again, thank you everyone for being a part of this wonderful session. And I'd love to see you in our next session, the topic of which I haven't yet decided. If you have any suggestions, feel free to message me. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Oh, yeah, great possibility to forgive. Thanks. Thank you, everyone. See you next week. Bye.
Thank you. Thanks, Nilofer. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks.
Thank you. Bye.